Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jefferson Scott with What's Happening in Birmingham today. I have the honor and pleasure of having Mr. Wilson Hale, yes, right?
Hell yes.
For Jefferson County Sheriff on the May 24, 2022 elections. You know, this continuing series interviewing all the candidates, giving them a chance and a platform to talk to you, the viewers, about why they're running and their plans and the platform. So let's first kick it off about, why are you running?
Well, violent crime in Jefferson County is at a 25-year high. There's no reason for that. Our children are worried about whether they're able to go to school and come back home safely. We got parents and grandparents that are scared to even stop and get gas in the evening time going into the night. So they're looking over their shoulder. This administration has yet to address violent crime in Jefferson County. And I want to give the citizens an answer. So hell yes, I'm running for the office of sheriff of Jefferson County.
So tell me a little more about the platform. I know you got a whole lot of things on the website that you talked about.
Well, there's quite a bit that's on there. Mm-hmm. My platform covers safety, integrity, and justice for all the Jefferson County citizens. When we're dealing with safety, we have to look at all the citizens and where they're living at and certain zip codes to follow up on them. When we're talking to our individual people, they speak about their safety in their homes. We got some people that are sitting on their floors and scared to even sit up and watch TV. They're watching TV from their floor. Lord knows we can't have older, elderly people that's out there as well that's sitting on their floor. The job of the sheriff is to keep the community safe at all costs. We don't need an involvement of high crime to increase going out through Jefferson County. Day one, we will hit the road running to reduce and reverse gun violence throughout Jefferson County at all costs. I will put it that way.
Okay. Well,
I also want to introduce integrity to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. The citizens deserve to see transparency. They should not have to worry about the sheriff having STSP programs throughout the sheriff's office, meaning special treatment and special privilege for friends, family, loved ones, and etc. That's unethical. They deserve to have transparency. Justice is for all of Jefferson County citizens, not just a few. Violent criminals, they will be taken off the roadway no matter what. Non-violent offenders, they will have the opportunity to go to my apprenticeship program. If they have 6 months or more during their sentence, they will have the opportunity to make some arrangements, do some interviews, and actually try to get a job while they're actually within the Jefferson County system, and maybe even learn a trade while they're in there. That will be also included in my apprenticeship program, that they might want to go out and do their own barbering or laying bricks and so forth. So we have to have a wide variety of what the incarceration, the people that are incarcerated can actually get to in network.
Okay, so let's back up for a minute. Why did you choose a career in law enforcement?
Well, believe it or not, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my father, we was coming back from Selma, and he had an opportunity to I'll say, wave down an Alabama State trooper because he was driving so fast down the roadway. Mm-hmm. So the trooper would come up and he got him stopped. And as poised as he was, you know, back then troopers had to be like 6'2", it was qualifications, 6'2", weigh a certain, at least 200 pounds, and just have to be heavy and stocky, more built than anything. But his uniform was very articulated to his body. He was well groomed. He had the shoes were just as shiny as it can be, and I thought he was an action figure. So when I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, I want to be an Alabama State trooper when I grow up. So we fast forward 8 or 9 years later, I had an opportunity to date a young lady, and it was a little bit tragic on the back end of it. She got hit head on in a collision and it took her life. So that sparked my opportunity to going into being an Alabama State trooper. I just remembered how I can actually make some good out of this. And I said I wanted to do something for what she has lost her life for.
Okay. All right. So, what's your plan to reduce gun violence? The Hale plan.
The Hell Yes plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, part of the plan is not to expose the entire plan, but I can tell you this: the military has taught me the element of surprise is a great tool and a great weapon. And I will give you the fact that part of my plan will be actually implementing task force throughout Jefferson County in different parts of Jefferson County, depending on how they're required in different areas. We will also do anti-violence recruitment program, do anti-violence community program with outreach and contact different parts of Jefferson County according to how it's needed as well. I will also contact outside of the box of Jefferson County and reach out to law enforcement agencies across Jefferson County, and hopefully they will join forces to help me reduce and reverse gun violence in a way that it'll help their city, and so that we can come together in Jefferson County as one for one common goal.
So I always like to say you can't move the cart without a horse. So is going to need officers. What would be your plan to recruit and retain? You know,
Lord knows we're going to need some officers. You know, dealing with morale, I have to look at where the officers are today. In Jefferson County is 200 plus less officers than where they started with this administration a few years ago. So my plan to recruit officers, I have an aggressive, very aggressive plan to recruit officers throughout Jefferson County. And I will reach out to other organizations just as well as reaching out to colleges, YMCA, WYMCA, bring some of the women in. They have some more intellect to give to us to offer on women's response to crime and situations just the same. I will also reach out to the Boys Club and other organizations dealing with church and programs outside of the box that would actually extend outside of the Alabama state line. And that will be my additional outreach out of the box look. I have spoken with numerous of deputies that have left during this administration, even some that retired prior to, but most of them were doing this administration up to about 70 or 72, and they did have an outlook of coming back. If we could change the administration, they just can't work up under this administration, but I did have the opportunity to speak with them. So if I could get those 70 back, they bring a lot of history back to the sheriff office. Some things have changed, some laws have revamped and updated, but we still need some of that old swing, because old things still work. I'm still here. So
let's talk about, I hear this term a lot in the media and the news, community policing. What does that term mean to you, and how would you work with the community if you're elected?
Well, community policing is needed all over this nation and pretty much all over the world. I wish they had brought this into perspective when they had first created law enforcement altogether. Community policing is a bonding between a relationship between officers and the community themselves, and where they actually come together and they would work for the better of that particular community. We have officers that patrol those communities day in and day out, except when they're all on vacation or whatever, they might switch up. But majority of the time, the same officers are in those same areas, and we want to make sure that they have a relationship, a bonding. You might not get all of the people in the community because everybody don't want to be bothered with law enforcement. But the majority of the community do respond to law enforcement, and once they get to know and create an atmosphere that's a little softer, they can work together and come to a common goal. The people know what they want in their community, and they know the people that are in the community. They know the problem areas, they know the problem homes, and some of them might just be that person. So you never know. But the officer needs to know and get to know the people in that community so he can bond with them. And if they want some aspects changed throughout the community that's not illegal or not against policies and procedures and state laws, I don't see why that's a problem.
Okay, so, of course, it's Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, but you also got other police departments here in Jefferson County. How would you work with all of them if you're elected?
I've always worked pretty well with all law enforcement. I never had a problem out of any agency whatsoever. And I worked all across the state of Alabama with different law enforcement agencies, from Mobile to the top side of Gaston and so forth. And I will continue to work with law enforcement. We have a bond, and we have to support one another. Now, when I say support one another, I do not mean in the wrong instincts. I would not support wrong ideas. That is not going to happen. But we have a bond, and that bond is to protect life and the future of our children and property that exists out here. So I will always work with law enforcement as long as they're in the right aspect of mind and doing the right thing. We will have a mutual relationship and a common goal, and that's to protect the citizens of Jefferson County.
What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing just the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department in the next 4 years?
Well, that's a two-party answer there. The biggest challenge would be morale, dealing with morale and actually trying to reverse the morale within the sheriff's office. The morale is low, is at an all-time low within the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and we need to reverse that first before we even start trying to bring other officers in. We need to find out what it is that's bleeding within the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and plug the wound before we even start moving forward. We have to do that and lift morale if we're planning on being effective in hiring. Otherwise, we're not going to be effective. They will continue to walk through the front door and go out of the back door as they're doing now today.
So you're going to be in a big leadership position. One question I always like to ask, whether it's CEOs or, presidents of large organizations, what are some of the hardest decisions you've made in your life so far?
Well, one of the hardest decisions I've made in my life was recently, and that was running for the sheriff of Jefferson County.
Okay.
In other aspects of my life, in my past, that was leaving my family to go and serve my country in the armed services for a number of 24 years. And the second hardest decision was leaving my family once again to go serve this state of Alabama in different portions of the state for 33 years. And you're missing out on so much activity dealing with your children, their childhood, what's going on, wondering if your family's safe. You're having to just kind of look over your shoulders, and you call in as often and frequently as you can and trying to get back home and make sure that you're providing that mother or fatherly instinct that you need to be providing to them. And I say the worst was probably my making death notifications to family dealing with the military as well as with the Alabama State Troopers. It never get easier, and you just continue to try to help families in the manner of whatever you can do for them, but it's not much that you can do. The only thing you can do is comfort them and hope that time will pass in their eyesight a little quicker than what is the actual norm. But just making death notifications to families throughout all part of the states and a lot of parts of the country.
So how have your prior military, thank you for your service, for that community, and all your leadership roles prepared you for this position, this moment?
Well, running for sheriff and being the sheriff of any county, you have to be a well-rounded leader. The people have to respect the position that you're actually in, and you have to earn that respect. You have to deal with multi-million-dollar budgets, and people have to trust you with that money and know that you're going to do the right thing. You deal with crises that's fall in your lap. People have to know you're competent enough and engaged enough to know the ideas or know where to go and get the answers from, even if you don't know. And it's okay to say you don't know. You also you deal with personnel issues. So, in saying that, the military, as well as being an Alabama State Trooper, has well-rounded me for these issues that I'm coming into to be the sheriff of Jefferson County. I've dealt with multi-million-dollar budgets. I've had 700 plus personnel up under my umbrella in my administration. I've dealt with crises that have fallen out of the sky into my lap and then falling over one another, falling into my lap. I've covered so many different issues that I'm sure that I am very, very much comfortable being the sheriff of Jefferson County, without a doubt.
All right, before we end with the $1 million question, well, first off, I want to connect the dots. So anything, just tell folks where you're from, just tell the viewers where you're from, where you grew up, college, just in case they may know you or somebody like, oh, that's Wilson. Hale,
they do know that Wilson the Hale. Hell yes, they know Wilson the Hale. I'm Wilson Hale, running for the sheriff of Jefferson County. I grew up in Bessemer, and I went to, actually graduated from Macadary, played ball at Just Lanier, and actually went to Paulina Dunbar, Abrams, all of you Abrams fans that are out there just the same. But I'm running for the office of sheriff of Jefferson County. Jefferson County is at a 25-year high in violent crime, and we need to reverse and reduce crime throughout Jefferson County. I'm the only candidate with this platform, with a platform dedicated to reducing gun violence and violent crime in Jefferson County. I am the only non-incumbent that has performed the duties of what we are now asking of this sheriff to learn how to do. So hell yes, I'm ready to take on the position of Jefferson County Sheriff and as Jefferson County Sheriff.
Well, I'd be remiss if you don't mention where your church is and any other community organizations you're part of.
I am a part of the Real Men Don't Sag. Okay. That's a nonprofit organization designed to equip, encourage, and empower underserved communities of Jefferson County. My wife and I share that while working with children throughout Jefferson County. We also have a film ministry, Shoot Film, Don't Shoot Guns. And we have worked with children from 3 years old to the college level in trying to give them another opportunity to divert attention from being in another different direction. My church is down there in Bessemer, right off the Bessemer Superhighway. I'm at New Jerusalem Baptist Church. Reverend Calvert, he is my pastor. They're very well-rounded leader, just the same. And I appreciate all the words that he brings, the spiritual belief that he has in leading that church. And we all worship the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Okay, and what's some of your hobbies? I know you ain't got time to do it, because you've been running. But
it's very few.
Okay.
But like I said, my wife and I, we love shooting films, and we won quite a few awards, red carpet awards, shooting films, and a lot of short film. We also, we bike, we swim, we rollerblade. So, and I love martial arts. And right now I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym as soon as I possibly can. I feel some stuff that ain't waking up that used to around here. So I look forward to getting back to my normal activity sometime soon.
All right, $1 million question. And this final question, I want you to stare into the camera, tell the viewers, so May 24, 2022, why should the voters of Jefferson County choose new leadership, and why should they choose you and you? Not telling me, tell them.
Well, listen here. Why should the voters choose new leadership? Mainly because what you have in Jefferson County Sheriff Office today is not working. Morale is down. I can't say the percentage that it's down. We're losing workers. 200 workers plus have left the Jefferson County Sheriff Office. We're dealing with losing inmates inside the Jefferson County Jail. I don't know how you can lose an inmate inside the four walls of a jail. We're also dealing with problems that having to unexplained deaths that are occurring in the Jefferson County Jail. That's somebody's friend or uncle or niece, nephew. We have to have accountability to that, and we don't have accountability. So why should they elect me, Wilson Hale? Hell yes, they should elect me. I am the only non-incumbent that has performed the duties of the sheriff in an aspect of what we're asking the sheriff to do today. I am the only candidate that has a dedicated platform to gun violence and violent crime in Jefferson County. And I'm the only one that has the leadership and the know-how. I am the most competent candidate in this race with the experience and proven skill set to address these safety issues. So hell yes, vote Wilson Hale for Jefferson County Sheriff.
So how can they get more in contact with your campaign?
WilsonHaleForSheriff.com or WilsonHaleForSheriff@gmail.com. They can reach me on my phone number, 205-368-1994, 205-368-1994. If you want safety, integrity, and justice, say hell yes and vote Wilson Hale. May 24th, 2022.
And this man just gave out his cell phone number, so you all feel free to call or text him. You're going to get a lot of folks calling you.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So, but thank you for coming on, Dave.
I appreciate it.
Thank you personally for your military service, your service as Alabama State Trooper, because, you know, I think you was in two fields where you literally put your life on the line every day that you suited up. So I just want to thank you for that. And Sisters Alabama want to thank you for that, because, you know, in these days and times, you know, you don't find a lot of people willing to do that in law enforcement.
Well, if you don't die for something, what are you living for?
Yeah, so I just want to,
I would do it again.
Yeah, I would think, because it's like you said earlier, it's right now, the morale is so down as far as people feeling about law enforcement, people want to join law enforcement. You know, I want to commend you for your service for that. But you all, please, on May 24th, 2022, please go to the polls and vote. And actually, in a few weeks, I'm actually going to be doing the absentee vote information, so you ain't going to have no excuse if you don't want to show up that day. So, thank you all for watching this video. Please check out what'shappeningburmingham.com for more interviews. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and Apple Podcasts. Thank y'all again, and have a great day. And thank you, Mr. Hale, yes, for coming over.
Oh, hell yes.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.